Hey, this is Bill Oberst Jr. from Criminal Minds, and you're listening to Then Is Now podcast.
Greetings, Spice fans. Silk City Hot Sauce is now sponsoring the Dorkening Podcast Network. Our craft sauces are made in Vermont in small, high-quality batches using locally sourced, farm-grown ingredients. Silk City Hot Sauce comes in a variety of heat strengths and killer flavors like Jezebel, Erotic Fever, Mango Madness, and Good Morning Jonestown. And don't forget our newest creation, Hot Syrup. Make no mistake, Spice fans, this is the queen of sweet heat. There's new and unique flavors coming out all the time. Best of all, right now, listeners of the Dorkening Podcast Network can go to silkcityhotsauce.com and use coupon code DORK. Not only will you get 20% off your order, we'll also throw in a free bottle of hot sauce. That's silkcityhotsauce.com. Coupon code DORK.
Hi, this is Re-Gor, host of Then Is Now podcast and The East Meets the West. I just wanted to say thank you to all of our Patreon subscribers. We appreciate your support as we grow the audience for our shows. You could find our links to our Patreon page as well as our TeePublic page at havenpodcasts.com. With Patreon, you'll get a lot of exclusive stuff, including our monthly pop culture newsletter, cool gifts, discounts for TeePublic, and our special exclusive show, Then Is Now Filmmakers series, in which we interview directors, producers, writers, composers, special effects guys, basically anybody who works behind the scenes in film and television, and get their insights into the process of creating films and TV shows. Also at our TeePublic page, you'll find cool merch that you can get or even give to others as gifts. You can find those links at our website, or you can go directly to tpublic.com/stores/havenpodcasts and patreon.com/thenisnowpodcast. Enjoy!
What kind of a sick school is this?
Uh-oh, don't go!
Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
You got spunk. I hate spunk.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Oh, righty then.
How you doing? Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Say hello to my little friend.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
What are you people? On dope?
Stop whining.
I got a crap on deck that can choke a donkey.
Who is your daddy?
I'm sorry, but all questions must be submitted in writing.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Can I do that?
I'll be back.
A dynamite! Show me the money!
Don't! Up your nose with your rubber hose.
A what?
I'm sailing! I'm sailing!
Groovy.
You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
Here's looking at you, kid.
We got no food, we got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off!
Come to the coast, we get together, have a few laughs.
Hear that, Elizabeth? I'm coming to join you, honey.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
I love it when a plan comes together.
What we do is if we need that extra push over the cliff, you know what we do?
Put it up to 11.
11, exactly. One louder.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
We're on a mission from God.
Hello and welcome to another amazing episode of Then Is Now, the podcast in which we discuss pop culture of the past and how it relates today, as well as helping you introduce younger people to all the cool stuff they missed out on. I'm your host, Re-Gor, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Chris Esper. How's it going, man?
Yeah, it's going. How about you?
Good. It's, just in the pop culture realm, I've been watching Peacemaker on HBO Max, which is it's a TV show with John Cena, who plays the same character he played in the Suicide Squad films. I don't know if you've seen
Oh, cool.
those.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious. It's absolutely.
I gotta check it out.
It's disgusting and funny at the same time. The opening credits is a dance sequence with him and all the characters on the show, and it's fucking hilarious.
That's all. Yeah, I gotta check that out. It's funny. Well, it's funny. I used to watch years ago. I used to watch WWE, and it was around the time John Cena was very, very popular. He had a rap album. He had, and the kids loved him. Yeah, I mean, it was like this whole. At the time, he was close to, but not quite probably like the Hulk Hogan of the time, but probably not as charismatic as Hulk Hogan. Probably a better wrestler than Hulk Hogan, but. But yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah,
I never followed wrestling, so I like you, Hulk Hogan. I didn't even know who he was. To me, he was Thunder Lips from
Rocky 3. That's right. Well, it's funny. That's how I got to know Hulk Hogan, was from watching Rocky 3, and I was like, wait a minute. Is that Hulk Hogan? And then it started this train of becoming a wrestling fan just from the sheer fact that he was in Rocky 3.
That's hilarious. That's awesome. Real quick, I've just been catching up on shows like DC's Legends of Tomorrow, and there's a whole shit ton of superhero movies and TV shows coming out this year. We've got Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is going to bounce right out if people have watched Spider-Man No Way Home all the way through the credits. There's a nice tie-in to that movie. And then The Boys Season 3 is coming up with Jensen Ackles, and he's going to play, I can't remember the character's name, but he's basically the first super, and apparently he's off his rocker. He's fucking nuts. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm still in the middle of Season 2.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But I got to tell you about what happened to me the other day. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Well, it didn't happen to me. I misrepresent this. So, as you know, and as the folks listening know, I'm a huge General Hospital nerd. And there's this major storyline going on, which I won't go into details, but suffice it to say I had a theory about the outcome of the story and the possibility of an old character coming back to the canvas. So I posted that on, I belong to pretty much every General Hospital group on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I posted it to nearly all of them. And the amount of response that I got was unbelievable. Not only did I get, I'm telling you, I probably got a few thousand likes or hearts, and at least 1,000 comments. It's to the point where I click on my phone, and even when we're sitting here, my phone is off, but it keeps popping up, binging. My phone is on silent, but it keeps binging. People are posting in response to my posts. Yeah. And what's really awesome about it, I mean, that's the first time that's ever happened to me, posting something and getting that much response. But, I'm trying to scroll down because I'm on so many, I posted in so many groups, they're not all the same. So I have to keep trying to scroll down. And as I'm scrolling down to look to the next one that's green, so I know that someone posted a comment, it bumps away. It bumps back to the top because more people are posting.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the really cool part is I'm going to say 20% of the people on that have said, why aren't you writing for the show? Or they should hire you. You should write for the show.
Wow.
It's insane. I'm hoping, if anyone that works for General Hospital listens to the show. That's been my dream for years. I tried in 2004 and it didn't quite work. And
Did you really?
Try again. Yeah, it was weird because I was able to contact the head of daytime at ABC, a guy named Brian Franz. And I sent him an email, and he actually got back to me and said, yeah, you could send us a script, a sample script, but you can't include any of our characters or storylines on any ABC properties. I'm like, okay, fine. So I had an idea in the back of my head, and I whipped that out, and I sent it off to them. And the response I got was, while we feel you definitely have talent, it's not what we're looking for.
Wow.
And I'm like,
that's awesome, though.
Yeah, it was great that I got in, but I was like, well, what do you mean? I mean, I wasn't pitching you the idea. Was my writing not what you were looking for? They said, it's not what we're looking for. So I don't know. It was kind of vague. It was almost like they just placated me. They probably didn't even read it.
True, but I mean, the fact that they said you had talent, if they did read it, if they did indeed read it, I mean, that's a pretty high compliment.
Yeah. So I'll try again. I don't have a lot of writing credits to my name though. So that's the thing is I've got to.
Right.
I pretty much got my blog. I just don't have time. I have ideas.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe I'll just whip a few things out first and then pursue it again and see what happens.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
that would be freaking awesome.
Oh yeah. that's the dream right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I could do it from home too. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, hey, the writer's dream. I think it's every writer's dream job to be able to just write all day. I know I love to do that.
Oh yeah, and this is a show that's been on for 60 years, almost 60 years.
Yeah.
And my knowledge of the show goes back to when I started watching in 1981.
Sure.
So it's like I know the characters' voices. I almost think I'm going to write something. I probably shouldn't say this over the air, but I feel like I should write something in the voices of the characters, but change the characters.
Yeah.
But make it sound familiar enough that when they listen,
they could hear it. Yeah. I get you. Yeah.
So that's what I got going on this week. What do you got going
on? Mostly just my day job. It's been quite a whirlwind, but that's because of it though. I like what I do, so I can't complain. So
awesome.
Yeah,
that's good. So, folks, today we've got a great and versatile actor on the show who you may know from the most recent horror film, Hellraiser: Judgment. So sit back and prepare for a fun interview. Class is in session.
I have a bad feeling about this.
How could I possibly be expected to handle school on a day like this?
Food fight!
Hey, you in my class?
I am today.
I think you should consider transferring to shop class. Now, very few students are severely injured in shop class.
Bueller.
When you were in school,
Bueller.
did you ever cut class?
Bueller.
Yeah, I guess I did. Sure, most kids cut classes.
Good. Sign this. He's sick.
I get so lonely when I hear that third attendance bell ring and all my kids are not here.
7 years of college down the drain.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
You lack discipline. As long as I'm here, there will be no grades or gold stars or demerits. We're going to have recess all the time.
Woo! Go, play, and have fun now.
On the show today, we have an actor who is the grandson of a trumpet-playing vaudeville comedian and the son of a stage actor. He's a classically trained actor of stage, film, and television who is as comfortable in intense, macabre drama as he is in broad musical comedy. He's appeared on Broadway in The Last Empress, off-Broadway in Aunt Chooch's Birthday, at the Kennedy Center in Sheer Madness, and in dozens of off-Broadway and regional theater productions, which has helped him accumulate a number of awards for his stage work in Dallas and at the regional theaters around the country. You've seen him in such TV shows as Friday Night Lights, Prison Break, and The Purge, among others. He's also been in quite a few films, including Wonderful World with Matthew Broderick, Sin City with Mickey Rourke, Soul Man with Bernie Mac and Samuel L. Jackson, and Super, where he was spanking a baby Rainn Wilson. But it's his role as the iconic horror villain Pinhead in 2018's Hellraiser Judgment that has brought him acclaim and made him a beloved new member of the horror community. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the show a man who has an enviable collection of horror toys and memorabilia and who may have worked on a horror comedy screenplay about a confused man in a bunny suit. Paul Taylor.
Thank you, Roger. That is the sweetest. You say the sweetest things. Who wrote that anyway? Gosh.
I pulled it together from all things that I found in my research. So.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I loved it. Yeah, it's
awesome.
Pretty accurate. I don't know, some of the beloved. I don't know, maybe beloved. Maybe beloved.
Well, by all accounts, I feel that's what I've read.
Yeah. I hope so.
No, well, before we get into things, I got to ask you about this man in a bunny suit script. Did this ever come to fruition?
No. I didn't even put a pin in it. I just sort of decided that my impetus for starting the thing in the first place was really connected to some personal issues that I need not discuss and won't in public that I've gotten over. And I'm not sure that, I think in creating art, if I'm going to actually write a screenplay, it needs to be something of use to people. And I don't think that this screenplay would be of use really I don't think it would help anyone. And really, if I'm going to take the time to create something of my own, I really want it to not just entertain or scare or whatever. I really want it to help people. So I just sort of, well, actually, now that I say that, it would actually help people, but I don't like the topic anymore.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
like the topic of where the film started anymore. That's a very long answer. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
But no, it never came to fruition, but it may be a one-man show someday, stage play, or even a regular play. It may be a short film. I may just do the culminating scene that would be at the end or at the beginning of the movie.
Interesting.
Because that could be enough. It could just be a short, and I could say everything I need to say with just the short, leaving out the other aspects that were part of the movie when I started writing it, back when I was smoking a lot of dope and living in New York, collecting living dead dolls, wearing actually a bunny suit at the just not any old bunny suit. I made it and then made it all bloody. And
nice.
At the New York City Halloween parade, it was a crazy time in my life. And then 9/11, and it was just, it was nuts. So been through a lot since then. Yeah. So maybe if I can get on the other side of all that, which I think I really have, it may be a better place to write from, Oh, yeah. Since I'm not as emotionally connected to it or emotionally damaged currently by it. So anyway, long answer.
So every time we have a new guest on the show, we ask the question, how did you get on the path of, and in your case, acting?
Oh, well, I went to see my dad in a play at Hutchinson Community Theater, which is in Hutchinson, Kansas. He was a dentist, but he loved acting. So anyway, I saw him. And I don't know if the first thing I saw him do was Felix and the Odd Couple, but that's the one that has the biggest memory for me. And I remember I just thought, well, I don't know if I remember thinking this, but I'm sure what I thought was, that looks like fun. I can connect to my daddy. I want to try that. So
that's awesome.
I don't have issues or anything, but so I did try it, and I loved it. And I wasn't really good at anything else. I was kind of a soft child who just wanted to daydream and play dress up and fantasize and stuff like that. So it was like, wow. So I really, I don't know what the first play I did was. I think I might have done the Town Mouse and the Country Mouse in grade school or something.
Oh wow.
And then I was asked to write a play in fourth grade that would include every cast member. I mean, every classmate. So it was stupid. It was like a couple of them only had one or two lines, but I remember it was called The Purple Piper, and the Purple Piper's girlfriend was the Rainbow, and I remember at the end, that with Marsha Ragland. Hi, Marsha, if you're listening. She played the Rainbow, and Bill Kreitz played the Purple Piper, and I played one of the two frogs that were brother and sister. I don't remember their names, but they would finish each other's sentences or exchange every other word would be the other ones. Anyway, it was really stupid, but I remember that there was a character named Portrayal the pig, and I remember, I won't say who played that because that's kind of rude, but I think it's rude. And I love I mean, I don't know her anymore. Fuck her. Whatever. She was a child then. I don't know what she's like now. She's probably a bitch. So anyway, you said I could swear.
Absolutely.
It was the middle of Kansas. A lot of fucking bitches in Kansas. Lovely people too. Uptight, conservative. Anyway, so she's probably not like that at all. But she had one line. She came out and she wiggled out, as I wrote in the directions. She wiggles out, and she was a little larger than the other classmates. And she comes out and she goes, "Hi, I'm Pernell Pig. I ran away. Well, bye." And then she exited. That was her role. That was how good my writing was, if you can believe it. Yeah. But I was never asked to write another play, so I don't know. But that was fourth grade, I didn't give myself the lead. At least I didn't give myself the lead,
Was it Pernell?
That's where it started.
Oh, okay.
The stage. Now, when my dad told me, out of love, I'm sure, that we want our kids to make the right choices for their lives, and we have to help them make those choices. I speak sarcastically. It's bullshit. But he said he told me I wasn't good looking enough to be in the movies. So I sort of was like, oh, okay, well, parents know everything, so okay. Geez.
Wow.
That was awful.
That's
and
terrible.
I mean, it was awful. It's not awful now, because now I'm like, whatever. He didn't do it because he hated me. He did it because he loved me. None of us are perfect parents, so
right.
I couldn't have Auntie Mame as my, if I would have been born in New York City and Auntie Mame raised me, I would have been a fucking big star at a very young age. Or I would have died of a drug overdose or drunk or AIDS or whatever. I would have been crazy, who knows? But we all go through our lives, we all go through our shit, and hopefully we're alive and relatively unscathed.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah. So, yeah, I decided for this interview, and I don't often do this. I mean, in the past I haven't, but I'm at the point in my life where I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck what someone thinks of me. I've done what I've done. I feel how I feel, and if people like me, great, and if they don't, great. I don't give a shit anymore. I'm just tired of it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. And as an actor, that's tough, because what's your job? To make a good impression, to worry about what other people think of you, to audition well and get the part.
Right.
And I mean, maintaining professional relationships, yeah, that's a great thing. But caring what other people think because of your opinion about something, oh my God, I'm so tired of it. So anyway.
Do you think that helps you in auditions now, because you don't walk in with that initial fear that some might have?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, 2020 was a fucking shitty year, and I also turned 60, and then I got relieved of my housing arrangements after living there 12 years, and all this shit happened the year I turned 60. I'm like, wow, what a fucking shitstorm. And the work went away because of COVID. So it was like, Jesus. So I may feel this way now, but I haven't been able to go to many auditions. And, but I do believe it's going to help me. And I believe that what I'm working on right now, an audition I'm learning right now so that I can fucking nail it. And it's saving my life just working on this audition. It's for a lead in a huge movie that's going to shoot in Germany. Who knows? Right. I don't know. I don't care. It's a beautiful script. Somebody wants to see me audition for this. I'm giving it everything I've got, because the rest of my life right now it's not shit. It's not complete crap, but it's not great. It's not great. Okay. I'm not going to pretend like it's great when it's just not. So I'm just doing what I can. I'm doing my best. And I'm so excited about this script that I'm working on, just so I can put my audition on tape. It's like I'm working as hard on this as I did on my Pinhead audition, because I decided this is saving my life right now. This is possible. This is possible. All it takes is me believing it, because it's been a crappy couple of years, as I've said 12 times now, and and I used to have such a drive,
Yeah.
And then when COVID hit, it killed a lot of people's drive, and I'm just trying to get it back. I'm like, okay, this will work. This is what I can do. So it's all, another very, very, very long answer. I don't even know what the question was. Oh yeah, does that help me? I think it does help. I think it's going to help me in auditions. So
I think so too. There's a lot of times in life, no matter what it is, like let's say, you're trying to find a girlfriend or something, and you just, nothing's happening, and then you finally go, you know what, fuck this, I don't care anymore, and then all of a sudden you meet someone and you click.
Yeah,
that's so true.
It is the same thing. And then when you get, and it's also, if you get the opportunity and you say, oh, I'm probably not good enough for her, then you're not good enough for her,
Right.
Or, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Oh, I probably could never get this role because it's a lead and it's in another country and it's a gorgeous script that they took 10 years to write, and it's based on true history, and it's only everything that I wish for in film work. You know, it's like a period piece. It's a lead. It's real history. It's so beautiful, and it will help people. It's going to help people. I'm like, this is exactly what I want to do right now. Even if it's just doing a really good audition on it, this is exactly what I want to do right now. So I'm really excited that it came along when it did.
Well, good for you.
You got to be ready for the opportunity. That's what is success. It's opportunity meets, preparation meets opportunity. Huh? Something like that.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, that's it. You're putting the vibe out to the universe. And it's like fishing, and it's going to come back to you,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's how Pinhead happened.
That's awesome.
I'd been in therapy for a few months. I had been in therapy for a few months. It had been a real mess when I started, and this therapist had gotten me into the power of, meditation and manifesting what you want for your life and telling you things, believing that it's there already, believing and just meditating on how much you're worth and how much you want what you want, and there's no reason not to get your dreams and all this stuff. And then I got that opportunity, and I immediately thought, oh, there's no fucking way I'm gonna get this part. And then I did that for about 5 minutes, and then I woke up and I looked in the mirror and I said, oh, this is exactly what you've been asking for. So nail it. And so I nailed it, and I got the part. It's crazy.
It
does work. I've seen it work.
That's awesome.
But when things are not working out for a person who's very lucky, very blessed, very privileged, as I am, then I turn into a little whiny bitch. So I'm trying not to be a whiny bitch.
No, you're fine. But I wanted to jump back a little bit. We will talk about Hellraiser in a bit. I wanted to just go back in your early career, some of the stuff that you did, and even throughout your career, you did voiceover work for some anime. How did that come about initially, and do you continue to do voiceover work?
Well, first of all, I don't really do much voiceover work. I'd love to, but it's kind of an industry, at least my opinion from what I understand, it's kind of insular, and you have to really concentrate on being a voiceover actor to be a voiceover actor, at least in Dallas-Fort Worth. And I'm really not willing to put that much energy into it, maybe. And I don't know that I have the desire to do hours of battle sounds like agony, screams of agony and stuff like that. I don't have the instrument for that stuff. And a lot of it is that. It's very violent. And the other thing, the first part of your question, I'll answer now. I got started in it because I had just moved back. I don't remember when my first one was, but I think I just moved back from New York and got signed on with an agent who had me audition for a company called Funimation, and they are a real leader in taking the Japanese anime, rewriting it in English to match the mouth flaps,
right,
and re-recording it. And then, of course, we know the industry for anime is just fucking huge.
Oh yeah.
So so that's how I got started. Was just my agent saying, "Hey, you want to go audition for this?" Just like the same agent who said, "Hey, you want to go down to Austin and audition for a Robert Rodriguez movie? It's called Sin City." I'm like, "Sure." It's like, oh, agents, yay!
and that was your first movie, right? Sin City.
It was my first movie. I mean, there was one that I don't know if it ever got released, but I was an extra in something that's shot in New York, and then I was also in a TV movie. Well, it wasn't a TV movie. It was just a movie that never was released or went anywhere that was terrible. So I don't really talk about it.
That's fair.
but it's funny, the movie that this thing that I shot in New York, not the one that was terrible where I actually had lines, but where I was an extra. I remember I only had one day on the set, and the scene took place in a church, and the lead theme, I was sitting in the church, or was it a bus station? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It was a place where people were sitting on benches. And this lead, the director says, okay, and then you walk down the aisle and between the rows of seats and you think about sitting here, and he gestures to me and goes, but you don't want to sit there. He's creepy. And so you move on. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. I'm the creepy guy. That's okay. It gets me work. So, yeah, I'm creepy. Which is so stupid because I'm actually just a big, stupid goofball. I'm not really that stupid, but I'm not as smart as I used to think I was. I'm not as smart as I used to think I was.
There you go. Yeah, I had to think about
I've
that.
looked at my life and I've gone, no, Paul, come on. Look at the choices you've made. Come on. You're not so smart. I guess it's just self-destructive. Self-sabotaging is what I am.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that makes
or
sense.
was. It's what I was.
Right.
What I was.
Not
what
anymore.
I was.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Now, speaking of Sin City, I love that scene with you and Mickey Rourke. I mean, that was just freaking hilarious.
I know. I love it. I think that I walked in, I first auditioned for the agent for Best Sepco. Love her. Agent Dallas. Austin. And then got a call back. So went back down to meet Robert Rodriguez. And I think what he saw in me was, yeah, I kind of want to hurt this guy. Because that character, the worm assistant DA who gets his arm broken in 3 places because he's a smart ass. Yeah. And I love playing assholes. I love playing assholes. They're the funnest to play. I mean, they don't give a shit.
Every actor says that the bad guys are always more fun than the good guys. I believe
so
it.
Much more fun.
Yeah.
So maybe my dad shouldn't have said, you're not good looking enough. He should have said, be more of an asshole.
Right. There you go. There's advice to aspiring actors. Be more.
I wasn't trying to play. Yeah. I wasn't trying to play romantic leads. I've never wanted to play romantic leads.
Right.
I want to play the character parts.
Right.
Always.
Always.
Yeah. I want people to hate me on stage. Or not. But I got this stupid thing they call vulnerability. And it's like, ugh. But that's not actually stupid. I'm actually so glad that, and I'm actually proud of it, that it seems that in many reviews and many people's comments about my work that they say that there's a vulnerability. And I'm like, yeah, no matter who this guy is, no matter if he's the biggest jerk in the world, and we hate him, it's fun to give him. You have to give him humanity. You have to give him a reason for being the way he is. I mean, it's not as easy with Pinhead, except maybe in Judgment. It is a different time in Pinhead's existence, so that was actually kind of. I mean, the vulnerability came from the arrogance and the boredom. But anyway, yeah. I don't even know what the question was.
We were just talking about Sin City. Can you tell us about Mickey Rourke? I've heard things about him. Speaking of, I won't say the word.
He was just so quiet. He was so quiet.
Really?
I made him laugh. But he didn't laugh out loud. He never said any actual words to me. He just sat there looking at me. Just like what you see in the shot. It's like just... All right, when I was improvising, he would just, like, I said a couple things. He went, but that's it. That was it. He was in and out.
And how's Robert Rodriguez as a director?
The coolest person I've ever met in my life. I mean, I walked into the studio on my day that I shot my huge scene with no lines. And so he's sitting on a director's chair, strumming his guitar in front of the monitors. He goes, hey, Paul, cool, come over here. I want to show you something. And he just like goes, yeah, here's the thing. And I just want you to do this. And he's strumming his guitar the whole time. So mellow. And there's awesome. All these worker bees running around in this studio, Troublemaker Studios that he built with his own money, and it's all green screen and all these people. And I've never been in that big of a studio before and never seen all those people working at the same time for when the camera is going and the director says action. All of that happening just for that to happen. It was like, wow, what a world. This is the world I want to live in.
That's awesome.
So yeah, he was really cool. And he was he was a little disappointed that I didn't bring the glasses that I had worn to the callback. I think I left them in the hotel room.
Oh,
that's what happened. So he had to get another pair from somebody. But there were plenty of pairs of glasses in the wardrobe department, so it was all good. They looked just like a pair of my glasses. It didn't matter.
That's hilarious.
But yeah.
And so, Sin
really
City,
cool.
did that open doors for you for bigger projects?
I think it did. Definitely. I mean, and that casting director, I was on her top, I don't know how many, 20, top 10. I was at the top near the top of her list for quite a while for auditions, and she was seeing me for everything. I mean, that's not happening anymore with her, but it's like that's the way it goes. The business just changes, and there are certain casting directors who you work for, and then something changes or whatever, or you blow a few auditions. Or there have been some times when I've just been so nervous in an audition in front of the same casting director that I just blew it, and you can only blow it so many times in an audition room, I think, before certain casting directors will just say, you know what, this other guy is more reliable. I don't know. It's hard. We all have our good days and our bad days.
Well, and on that point too, for any actors who are listening, what advice would you give actors who are looking to get into the audition room, like any kind of do's and don'ts?
In the audition room?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta be happy to be there, and you gotta know that these people want you to succeed, because if you're not relaxed, then you're not going to be at your best, and you're not going to show them who you are, because that's who they're looking for in film. Not so much in theater, but and I know in film also you are needing to create a character, but more than that, the camera needs to see honesty in your eyes. So really, you can't fake it. That's why it's so hard. I don't think film acting is easy at all, but maybe some people would disagree with me, but because you can't fake it, and so you can't try to be somebody else or give them what you think they want. It's about showing them who you are, no matter if you think you're right for the role or not. Because this thing I'm about to audition for is I look at pictures online of the real guy, and I look nothing like him, and I'm like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I told myself, oh, you're too old. Nope. If they want to see me, then they want to see me. So that's the main thing. If you're going into an audition room, they want to see you.
Right.
Not your impression of Richard Dreyfuss or something. They want you. So, yeah.
And what you said earlier is totally true too. Is that they want you to succeed, because they don't freaking want to have to sit through another 100 guys to find the right person. They want you to succeed, to end the process soon, and be the one that they want.
And make their job easy.
Right.
Yeah. And then you're on their top 10 list, and they call you every time.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I got to ask you, speaking of audition, Chris and I are doing the research. We're not sure if this is internet bullshit or not, but it's not on your IMDb, but it was on a page that was about you, and it also listed you as having been in Barney and Friends. Is this just bullshit?
I was, okay.
Oh, really?
This is funny.
You were?
This is so funny. This is so funny. Before I got the part of Mailman Mel, what a stupid name. Mailman Mel.
That's amazing.
What? Who came up with that alliteration? Anyway, another creepy guy story. Mailman Mel is not creepy. Mailman Mel was in one of the Christmas specials, and he was great. He came and he delivered packages at Christmas, and it was all very happy. And he was just doing his job, and he had no relationship really with anybody else, which is how it should be when Paul Taylor's on film. I mean, when those are my favorite roles, is when I really don't have a relationship to anybody else. I just come in and do my thing, and I leave. But before I got that, I was doing extra work on Barney, And it was a normal episode, and they have the kids and they have the Barney and they have the parents, but they have the kids, and then they have Paul Taylor as an extra, and they have Paul Taylor sitting on a park bench alone, and I know. And one of the guys who was, I don't know if he was assistant director, if he was casting director, or if he had brought me in, he's like, yeah, we probably shouldn't have Paul sitting on that bench alone with the children running around. It was like, he looks molesty. So which couldn't be any further from who I am, but still, if that's what I look like, it's what I look like.
Right.
Right. It's hard not to look creepy if people decide that you're creepy because you're alone.
That's
and I'm alone most of the time, so whatever. But anyway, and I don't care anymore. It's kind of like it's a defense mechanism. It's like I'll just pull up my hoodie and I'll just be creepy, and people will leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
That reminds me of an old Eddie Murphy skit on Saturday Night Live where he had this. He was trying to teach you how to not get mugged. And he had this necklace that looked like a golden teardrop as the charm on it. And he goes, what you do is this. And he puts the necklace over his ears, and the teardrop's dangling off the tip of his nose. And he goes, this will look like snot, and that will keep the muggers away from you.
Oh, God. He was brilliant. This will look like snot. I can see it. I don't think I ever saw that episode.
Oh, yeah. It's one of the few that I watched. Aside from the originals, after Eddie Murphy, I stopped watching. Here and there, but...
I know. It's, I mean, Phil Hartman. Hello. Phil Hartman. What a god. But anyway, yeah. There have been some good ones, but not since that original cast. Nobody has ever topped it.
No.
Oh, my God.
Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd. Oh, man. Just
oh, my God.
Legends.
Oh, Gilda Radner. Oh, my God.
Yeah. So we just want to move on here in your career, and I hope this is not the movie you were referring to earlier, and if it is, you could just say you don't want to talk about it, but I had to ask you about one called Devon's Ghost, The Legend of the Bloody Boy.
Oh, no, that's shot in blah, blah, blah. Where did it shoot? In South Dallas. Oak Cliff.
Oh, okay.
Shot in Oak Cliff. And an abandoned, I don't know if it was abandoned high school or some sort of, I don't know. I don't think school was happening there anymore, but it takes place in a high school.
Okay.
And it was something. It was early on.
Yeah.
I hadn't been back. I think it was the same year I shot Sin City, if not. I don't know. But I played a reporter in that, a sleazy. I mean, he was just doing his job. As he says, I'm just doing my job. Of course he gets killed. Spoiler.
Man.
He wanted to get killed. It's okay. He does have a turn. He does turn around, though. He has a turnaround, and you go, oh, he's not such a bad guy. But by that point in the movie, it's like, no, everybody's going to die now.
Yeah.
Because it's Devon's Ghost, and he's got a bat that has a circular saw embedded in it, and wants to play. He wants to play baseball with your head,
And I had to ask you about this because I do looking at the IMDb on it. Johnny Young Bosch directed it. Now, to me, and Chris, you may remember him too. He was Adam, the second Black Ranger on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And Karen Astley was in it too. She was one of the Power Rangers as well.
That's right. So what was he like as a director? Because he was very young back then.
Honestly, I'm sure he was lovely. I honestly don't remember much about that shoot. I was so full of shit, so full of myself at that point. I mean, I was quite insecure, but the character I was playing was pretty gross, just going after the story. So I don't remember. It was a while ago.
Wow. Interesting.
I mean, he didn't make the impression on me like Robert Rodriguez made the impression on me.
Right.
This is all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
And he's only directed 4 things, and I think 3 of which were infomercials. So I was just curious.
Yeah, yeah. I was supposed to do a convention with him last year, I think, and with Karen Astley, I think, but it got canceled or something.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. Or maybe the one with Karen Astley's coming up. I don't remember. I don't remember.
Well, I got to ask you about one of my favorite shows, Prison Break.
Oh yeah, that was great. Oh my God, story. Okay. So I kept auditioning and kept auditioning and kept auditioning, and the casting director loved me and loved me and loved me and called me in for everything. She'd seen me play Frankenfurter in the Rocky Horror Show. So she was like, "I've seen you in your underwear." Hey. Anyway, so she called me in for Prison Break and called me in and called me. I got the role of the trusted assistant, and I was supposed to have a scene with the old man with the, I don't know if he was bald or if he had a shaved head, but he was one of the older guys and one of the leads, but not a lead, sort of a bad man who had a lot of money. And he traveled in a limousine. So there was a scene that I was supposed to do that was written, and it was with him, and I was the trusted assistant giving him a file and giving him some information about whoever we were talking about. And I was like, yay, booked. I booked it. So then a week goes by, and it's the day of the shoot, and I have not received a call with my call time. I've not received any instructions whatsoever, and the shoot is tomorrow morning. And so finally, I knew the wardrobe person, and I called her, and I said, look, Desiree, what's going on with tomorrow's shoot? Because I can't seem to get a hold of anyone, assistant director, anybody who would be giving me this information. I don't know what's happening. She says, well, it's downtown Dallas. It's at this blah, 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 blah. So I go there in the morning, and I show up, and I think they were surprised to see me. Like maybe I was supposed to not show up, but and then they were going to go, well, he didn't show up, because they'd actually changed the script, and that scene no longer was in the script. Oh. And so they just were like, well, we booked him, so I guess we can't exactly say, you're fired, go home. So they wanted to not have to pay me, I think. That's why they didn't want me to show up. So I had shown up, and so they gave me the role of opening the limousine door for the guy who was a larger role, who now had the scene with the bald old man in the limousine. So it's funny, I open the limousine door, the guy gets in, and it's a long, wide shot. You can't see who I am. And then just as I'm shutting the door, a bus passes, and then go to commercial break. And that was my role. Huh. And I get paid residuals for that on a yearly basis. So anyway, then I got cast in another role, and this one actually had a line. So that was good. So it was kind of cool, though, because I did get to be in the van with Wentworth.
Yeah,
that's his name, right?
Wentworth Miller. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I was in the second row of the van, and he got in the front, and I'm like, well, that's Wentworth. That's cool. And he was very quiet, seemed very kind, but I have no idea. I don't know these people. So that was a scene where you didn't ask me about these scenes, but that was my story. But then I did book another role that was actually a role that did actually shoot. And so, there is a story. This was the coldest day I had ever experienced in Dallas, Fort Worth, in Dallas area. So where do we shoot? But we shoot, I believe, on Lake Louisville or some lake. And the water isn't quite frozen, but it's going to be if it goes down another 5 degrees or something. It's so cold and windy. And we're shooting on a pier. And the old man is shooting on a boat in the water. So anyway, they have these huge heating units set up. They have parkas for everyone. It's so cold. No one can stand it. And so, but we can't wear the parkas for the scene, but we have to shoot the stuff. So what we would do is it would almost be time for action. Almost. We'd take off our parkas. We'd run over to where we had to do the thing. And then another 15, 20 seconds would happen. And then you go in action, and I pat down the guy and I go, he'll see you now. That's my whole scene. But I remember like 5 takes in or something, and we had been in and out of our parkers a few times, and the director goes, "Stop shivering, you look cold." Oh my God. That's brilliant direction. That's brilliant. I don't care if I scathe my own name. Who cares? But really, I look cold. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'll try to do something about that immediately. So when you see it, if you see that scene, it's just like, all I'm trying to do is get the words out. You know?
Yeah.
He'll see you now. Please exit and have him say cut so I can leave. It was crazy.
You played an FBI guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have any scenes with David Fitchner, who also played he was sort of like the lead FBI guy?
No, but God, he was my favorite character. I think
Yeah.
he was everybody's favorite. Oh my God, such a psycho. Oh, but I did get an audition. I did get an audition for the therapist who he kills.
Oh, wow.
I auditioned for that role before he dyes his hair blonde.
Yeah.
But then he dyed his hair blonde, and I was like, oh, I see why possibly I didn't get that role because I'm so brunette. But oh my God, I wanted that part. Oh, it would have been great.
Yeah. That would have been.
Yeah, I would have worked with him, and he would have killed me and assumed my identity. That would have been cool. Yeah, another guy who you want to kill. You know, it's like I have a career out of dying and getting injured. You know, people like to hurt me. I'm not a victim in real life. I promise.
Right. No, we know that.
In movies, oh my God. That's heard
You you had a creepy you had a part in a creepy movie called The Gray Man.
Yeah, that was fun. That was way early on too.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm eating an apple, so
that's okay.
Yeah, I just seen with Jack Conley.
Wow.
Of L.A. Confidential. I just seen with that guy. It was so
awesome.
cool.
That's awesome.
I wasn't creepy in that. I wasn't creepy. I was I mean, I was nervous, but that's just because I was nervous.
No, is that based on a true story? Because it was about the serial killer who killed kids and ate them?
Albert Fish, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It's shot in Guthrie, Oklahoma. Another story? Want another story?
Oh, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
So one scene. He's come to the Western Union. I'm a Western Union agent, yeah. Guthrie is famous for being a place where people shoot films because it's an old town. It's got some really great buildings, and so I think this building had been a bank, but now it's a Western Union station. So Jack Conley's character comes in to leave a watch because he's searching for the killer, and I'm not really wanting to help him very much, but he comes up with an idea and blah blah blah. So we do this scene, we do the wide, then we come in, and then we come in, and we come in, and then we do Jack's close-up. We turn the cameras around to do my close-up. We do one take, and then the banjo parade starts outside. There was a banjo parade outside for like 30 minutes. We couldn't film anymore, so I got one take. With my close up, and thank God I knew my lines, and I look nervous as hell. And I mean, maybe I don't look nervous. I think I just look like prissy and like, no, I don't want to help you. But what I was actually was like, oh, please let me get this right because this is Jack Conley, and it's a big deal. So,
right.
So then finally, after watching the parade for a while, the banjo parade for a while. The director says, okay, that's it. We're going to have to move on to another setup. And so we moved on. So I'm walking back to base camp with Jack. And I said, man, I hope I did okay. Cause that was my only close up. And he goes, you were great. Believe me, he wouldn't have moved on if you weren't. And I know. And I'm like, oh, thank God.
That's
Jack
awesome.
Conley just told me I was great. But I love that scene. And I love that movie. I think The Gray Man is a great movie. More people need to see it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The story of Albert Fish.
It's ironic that fish eat humans.
He did. He liked children. And you know what? He also liked to shove needles into his own rectum. So there's that. Yeah.
Oh, we have that to look forward to.
Well, it's kind of like Jesus wanted him to.
Oh, okay.
And
well, then there you go.
he had religion, so religion helps people. It really, really helps people.
Jesus told me to stick this needle in my ass.
Yeah. He never talks about the devil. It's all about God. So whatever.
Now, did you ever get to have any scenes with John Wesley Shipp when you worked on Karma Police?
I did not have a scene with him. No. Nope.
Oh, okay. I was just
No.
curious.
I was an FBI agent. Well, you know that. You're looking at my stuff. No.
Right.
I didn't have a scene with him. But I like my scene in that too. I'm just rummaging through a desk, and giving some information about something we found. And it's like, we're going to have a tough time finding this guy,
Right. And it was funny because when I was looking at your filmography, when I first saw that title, I'm like, oh, that must be another anime. And then I clicked on it. I was like, oh, this is a live action movie. I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, it was shot in Dallas, Texas.
That's awesome.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Now, speaking of having scenes with actors, what about Soul Men? You got to tell us about Samuel Jackson and Bernie Mac.
I loved it. I loved it so much. Bernie Mac was so sweet, and Samuel Jackson was not, but that's okay. He didn't need to have anything to do with me, so he didn't. But I remember the little scene because I'm kind of I'm the hotel manager at the Peabody Hotel. I'm kind of a big deal. I wear a nice suit. I don't want these guys to stay at my hotel because of past history, what they did to some rooms and part of the hotel. So we do the scene. That's the main scene. But then there's a scene at the scene that takes place like the next day or something. I don't know. They have a big fight in a hotel room, and I say call the police, and revelations about the relationships, about who's daddy and all this stuff. Or I don't remember the plot, but anyway, it had to do with hurting other people. And so who cares? Hurt him.
Right.
People suck. But it was a scene where it was outside the hotel, and I brought out suitcases and just drop them on the sidewalk and then walk back into the hotel while looking at these people who we've kicked out of the hotel. And Bernie Mac is one of them. And so I come out and I throw him down and I kind of go, and then I walk back in. And he's like, you know what? You need to make it more like, And he starts acting like he's all prissy and primping his own clothes and stuff and being all, and it was pretty damn funny to get direction from Bernie Mac. So I did exactly that. That's what I did. I wish it was a bigger moment in the movie, but you can really hear my humph. You really hear that.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
My final moment with Bernie Mac, and I think that was his last movie. I'm not
Yeah.
But
It's really a shame.
Yeah.
What about working with Oliver Stone or James Brolin on W?
Crickets and laughter.
Oh, we broke him.
So many stories, you guys. So many stories about.
Oh boy.
Okay, so I book a role on W. I book a role of a religious sort of guy who's having a meeting with W and all these other important people. Toby Jones is in the movie, and oh, what's her name? She played Mrs. Bush. Oh, she'd kill me. Not that she knows who I am. Anyway, I went to Shreveport. That's where it's shot. But I was doing a play at the time in Dallas. So I went to Shreveport for a rehearsal, like a table read of my scene and some other stuff. And it was a very exciting day. And I'd never been to a rehearsal for a big movie. But I had to be back that night for my dress rehearsal of Bent, the play Bent, at Uptown Players in Dallas. And I remember people were late in arriving, if you can believe it. Movie stars were late in arriving. Wow. And it got delayed and pushed and delayed, and Oliver Stone was around, but he wasn't really. And so finally, I said to the assistant DA or whoever, DA, that's who I played in. The assistant director, or whoever. I said, I really have got to leave by blah blah blah, and he said, oh, okay. So then he came back later and he said, yeah, well, if you need to leave, then leave. And I wouldn't have probably been paid for that day, and I probably would have been, well, as it turns out, I was recast, but I probably would have been recast. Who knows? But so I do the rehearsal, and then I leave. I do stay for the rehearsal, and I'm late to the dress rehearsal in Dallas, and that's fine. And then I get recast in a different role, but it's a better role because there's a great line in it, and it's a reporter. It's like reporter 4 or reporter 3 or something. I don't know. And the line is, okay, so W is talking, and he says something about the education and about pushing through and about, teaching these kids instead of we just suckle them through. And that's what he says, suckle them through. And I turn to another reporter and I go, did he just say suckle? I'm like, oh my God, that's the best line I've ever had in a movie. I am so excited. So, okay, I show up on the day that we're shooting. I have no lines. I am no longer a reporter. And I am an extra who is standing with a well-wisher who says, hey, loved your speech. At the end of some speech he made inside this building, the reporter thing has become completely different. It's not a press conference. It's basically they're walking from this building to their car and being, hounded by reporters who were shouting their lines. I had done that for a while. I'd been a reporter shouting my lines. And then they're like, we have too many reporters. Paul, go be second well-wisher. So I now had no lines and was a well-wisher. Never, and that guy's line that didn't make it, whatever the well-wisher's line was. So there was never even a close-up of it. So anyway, there's this long shot. So again, you see my bald spot for about a moment in that movie. But the next scene, Toby Jones, he played Capote. That's my reference. I don't remember the name of the real person he played in W. Someone very important. I don't know. I'm not into politics, but his first line in the next scene. That's right. He was Karl Rove. His first line in the next scene is suckle. I'm like, God damn it. Fuck Toby Jones. I wanted to say suckle. So yeah, all kinds of it's freaking business. I mean, it's such a fucking heartbreaker. But you know what? I still got paid my day rate and I still get residuals, so who the hell cares? I played Pinhead. So so weird. It's so weird. God. There's so many instances. The more things you bring up, and I'm just like, yeah, this was supposed to happen, but it didn't, so this happened instead. So many instances like that. It's crazy. And that happens to everybody. Except for movie stars who are like established, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
All right. Well, I'll throw another one at you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was probably going to say something like, it's shitty. I don't know what I was going to say.
Well, I've got another one to throw at you. What about working with Matthew Broderick in that great scene in Wonderful World?
Oh, no. Oh, no. I
don't care. Look too happy to be there.
I don't care. Okay. So I have this scene. I'm skinny and pretty and I have this scene. Really excited about it. And we do the wide shot. We bring it in. We do Matthews close up. The director says, okay, now we're going to turn the cameras around and get Paul's close up. Matthew Broderick says, do we really need it? I think we're good. And I thought he was joking. And I just went, I laughed. And he looks at me and I'm like, oh my God, he's fucking serious. He doesn't want me to have a close-up. Whether it's because he doesn't think my character is important enough, or whether it's because he's a little dumpy right now for this movie and doesn't want me to be seen in close-up, or whatever. I was really pretty back then. Anyway, I'm bitter. Not really. But I was like, God damn it, Matthew Broderick. Fuck you. That's how I felt. And then I had another scene where I didn't have any lines, a scene where he calls me a nobody. So that was fun. But it's the courtroom scene because he's suing me. No, he's suing the city because his roommate died. because his car was towed, because I did something, because I didn't like the way he parked, so I had his car towed. So his roommate couldn't get to the hospital and he died. So boo-hoo. And there's this courtroom scene and I'm sitting there in court and he's talking to me. And I just remember seeing him pass by before we went in to actually shoot the scene. He just kind of looks at me as he's walking by. He's like, yeah. I sort of waved and didn't. And, it was like that. So I'm sorry. I mean, Matthew Broderick is a very gifted and cherished actor. I did not happen to have a lovely experience with him, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it led me to believe that he's a bit of a selfish asshole.
Yeah.
So I don't care. I'm tired of people being like that. That's what I mean by, people like, don't talk bad about other people. I'm like, fuck them.
Right.
I'm tired of it. I should write a tell-all book,
Oh, absolutely. That'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you have a lot of stories. Were there any stories about working on Super? Like what was it like working with James Gunn?
I loved that so much.
Yeah.
I loved it.
What was James Gunn like as a director?
He was wacky. I mean, he was fun.
Was he?
He was
I can imagine.
He was he knew exactly what he wanted, and he wanted it quickly because it was a low budget film, and they knew. I mean, I loved Slither so much. Wasn't Slither just the best?
Oh, I love Slither.
So,
yes.
Elizabeth Banks. That's who played Mrs. Bush.
Laura Bush. Yeah.
She was also, in Slither. Yeah. So I got this. He was a lot of fun, but we didn't spend a lot of time together. I do remember. I mean, a lot of time on the scene. Because I gave him exactly what he wanted, and he knew that I would do that, and that's exactly what I did. I did exactly what I did in the audition. And I went to the audition sort of as the character. Like, I had my own creepy eye distorting glasses, and I had my high-waisted trousers, my short-sleeved gross shirt, and I was that guy. I was that religious, and I had my hair, parted in the middle or slicked back, or, really gross guy who I would hate. Because, I mean, he's beating his child for having pictures of Heather Locklear in his closet. He's obviously he's a big reason why this Rainn Wilson character grows up to think he's such a loser. So anyway, I remember sitting in the makeup trailer and Liv Tyler is sitting next to me. And I'm like, oh my God. She is like an angel in appearance. She's so fucking beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And flawless, as you know, and the skin, and just she glows. And she was nice. She was friendly, but she was on the phone, telling somebody, I'm in Shreveport shooting this little movie. I'm like, yeah, and you Liv Tyler. Tell your dad hi. Love Harold
Yeah,
Smith.
no kidding.
Oh, that's awesome. That's fine.
Yeah. So yeah. And I got to see Rainn Wilson. He was on the set, but of course he wasn't in the scene because he couldn't shrink himself. But he was on the set. He was one of the producers, so he kind of said hello. But it was very businesslike. It was a very professional set.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And was it did the kid have padding in his pants or something, or how did?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he might have even had a book in there. I'm not sure. It was
Like
kind of like the first and last time I ever got spanked by my dad. I think I put a book in my pants. I did not get away with that, but pretty obviously there was a book in my pants.
I think I tried the same thing. We probably both learned it from Spanky and the Little Rascals.
Probably, yes. Probably. It was a fun set, though. So many day player roles, and you shoot one day and then you're gone. It's kind of heartbreaking. It's like, but yeah. I'm on a film set. Oh, it's over. That's one of the reasons I love doing. I won't say I prefer theater, but I do love theater. And one of the reasons, if I were to prefer theater, that would be the reason why. Is like you're employed for weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
But I would rather be on a film set anyway.
Yeah.
These days.
Of course. Yeah.
How did the Purge TV show come about?
It was really cool too. I auditioned for Ryan Gloriosa, the casting director, and he had cast me. He used to be in Shreveport. I remember several casting directors moved up to Shreveport after Hurricane Katrina, and so stuff was shooting out of there. That's why I got so much stuff out of Shreveport. Soul Man, Blonde Ambition, Wonderful World. There were others, Anyway, so he got to know me, and he really liked me because I always made him laugh in the auditions, no matter what I was doing. He would always laugh, and I'd go, maybe I'll get this one, and then I would. So, so then they got, what's that place? I can never remember. I can never remember the place in Louisiana. What's that place called? It's called
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Thank you. I can never remember New Orleans.
I'm like, I was going to go Baton Rouge.
Do you know what it means to not remember New Orleans' name? So anyway, that's a long story. So for no reason, he put me on tape and I got the part. It was really easy. I put myself on tape. That one wasn't in person. I, got put on tape at my agency. Then I had a redirect where the casting director was actually just very kind and really just wanted a good job instead of being kind of a creepy guy, So then I got the part, and it shot in Shreveport, and that was a fantastic professional television. I mean, not Shreveport, New Orleans. I remembered New Orleans. It was a fantastic professional set. It was just amazing. It's like if there is a position to be filled on a TV or film set, every position is filmed on this set. I mean, it was just so amazing. All the money and all the stuff going on. But, it's the Purge TV show. Of course it's like that. But the ironic thing is, the day before that, I shot my couple scenes in a low-budget horror film in California, a film called Don't Tell Me, because I know the name of this movie, called Roadhead, which is produced by the same people who produced Sick for Toys. And I had to be done by like 4:00 p.m. And we weren't done with me, but my friend John Paul Burkhart, who actually I've known for years and decades because of doing theater together in Dallas, who's lived in LA for many years and now is a producer. He's actually working on getting a movie produced that I'm going to star in, but we'll see about that. So hope that happens. Hope Gary Tunica directs. We'll see. We hope. Anyway, anyone got $3 million? Can I have it?
You check my other pants.
So anyway, we shoot that. He drives. We leave at 4 p.m. and they had to use my double for the stunt that actually happens in the movie. I won't do a spoiler. It's pretty gross and kind of funny. But he drives me like a banshee. He drove me from the set to the Las Vegas airport. I just make my plane. I fly to New Orleans. I have a few hours to sleep in the hotel room. I get up early in the morning to go to the set to shoot my scene on The Purge in this huge budget TV show. It was like, whoa, this is the life. One day you're on a set on the West Coast making not good money at all, and then flying to New Orleans to shoot this thing for too much money. It's like, wow, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I wish that kind of thing would happen all the time. Maybe it will again. We just have to get our world back.
Right.
Our world back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, how did it feel in that scene where you're auditioning the lady for the announcer part? Now
really
you're
cool.
doing the auditioning,
Yeah, it was really cool because I loved her, first of all. She played Little Red Riding Hood in Into the Woods, in the original cast of Into the Woods on Broadway so many years ago, because she's a short little thing and lovely and funny and spunky. And she also did get to play Little Red Riding Hood a few times because she understudied Little Red Riding Hood. But she played Snow White. Yeah, got to play. Anyway, I met her. She is actually the voice of the Purge in the Purge movies. So,
oh wow,
so that's why they cast her in this role, because she's auditioning for the role of the voice in the Purge, and it's like a prequel to the season before. And so it felt really cool because I knew her, and we went out to dinner that night afterwards. She treated me to the most lovely, expensive dinner. It was so great. But it was, what was the question?
How did it feel playing the part of someone doing the auditioning rather than having to be the auditioner?
I really liked it. It made me feel like I could do this. I could do this. But also the director gave me some brilliant direction, what he wanted from me. And I don't know if we'd already done a take or not, but he said, no, this is the situation with this casting director. You have seen a lot of people for this voice over a role. These men sitting behind you are not nice people. They're not good people. They will kill you if you don't get this role cast. So they know who your family is. They will make your family disappear. You will disappear if you don't come up with this. They're tired of sitting here. They don't understand the business. They want the voice now. I'm like, oh my God. So that was great direction. You know, it made it a lot more fun to play it. Yeah.
Well, folks, we are going to pause it here because we went on for over 2 hours with Paul Taylor, and we had such an amazing conversation and a lot of great laughs. He really opened up about a lot of stuff that he's never spoken about on interviews before. And when we come back next time, he's going to talk more about behind-the-scenes stuff of working on some of his projects, as well as his role as Pinhead in the most recent Hellraiser film, Hellraiser Judgment. So join us again next week for another fun-filled episode of Then Is Now podcast. Class dismissed.
This Now podcast is intended for entertainment, educational, and informational purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during this podcast are the property of their copyright holders. All original content is copyright Jupiter Media.
For more shows like the one you just heard, check out the Dorkening Podcast Network at thedorkening.com.